All right, this video is for laying out your air glider on the manila folder, which will be your final copy. This particular video will just be for the body, and then there will be a second video for the fins and the airfoil. So getting started here. The manila folders, they're pretty simple. All right, here's your tab right there. Make sure you get your name and hour on the tab. All right, whatever hour you are in. Please get your name on that tab right there. Okay, and then when you open the folder up, so here's the tab right here, we're going to be using this back sheet right here, the one that's connected to the tab. All right, the back sheet. The folder's closed, folder's open. We're using this back sheet. Mine has a little label right there. It's no big deal because you won't see that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this top section on around just like this and just kind of crease it to get a nice even and flat sheet of paper here for us to lay out. Okay, make sure you have a ruler and a sharpened pencil, and make sure you know where the zero's at on your ruler. A lot of kids are starting measuring on the end of the ruler when in fact the zero is about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch in. So find the zero. We're going to be measuring everything in inches. All right, so make sure you're on the inch side. And everything we do is going to take two measurements so we get a nice straight line. Okay, so starting out, we're going to lay out the air racer body so it will end up looking like this right here. Okay, we're going to start by drawing this bottom line, horizontal line. I'm going to make sure it's nice and neat, nice and clean. Okay, so I start by measuring from the bottom of my folder. And you can see I just turned my folder. You don't have to, but I'm going to measure from the bottom of the folder right here. Put the zero on the bottom of the folder and make sure it looks good. Okay, and I'm going to put a little tick mark at 1 inch right here. Okay, what I do to one side of the folder, I want to go ahead and do it to the other end over here as well. So that way I have a nice, okay, level point. I have 2 points to keep my ruler nice and level. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on the end as well. Measure in 1 inch. Put a tick mark right there. Now that I have both my tick marks, I can make sure that my ruler will be nice and straight. So I'm going to take the ruler, line it up with the tick marks, make sure the ruler stretches all the way across the folder, and make sure your line is going to cut right through your tick marks. We don't want to be able to see the tick marks once we make our line. Make sure you keep it nice and straight, and then from one side of the folder to the other, draw a nice clean line all the way across right there. Once you have this line, we're going to measure up 4 inches and do the same thing. Draw a nice straight line across there. So from this line, put the zero on the line, measure up 4 inches, put a little tick mark, go down here to the bottom, measure up 4 inches, put a tick mark, turn my ruler, line it up with both tick marks, and draw a straight line all the way across. So I have a horizontal line at 1 inch and a horizontal line at 4 inches. My next line will be a vertical line that finishes off my rectangle right here. So I'm going to draw in this line right here. For this vertical line, we're going to measure from the left side of our folder. Okay, so at the top right here where I drew this line, I'm going to measure over 11 inches. I'm also going to do it down here at the bottom, measure over 11 inches. So I take my ruler, put the zero on the left edge of the folder all the way over, put a tick mark at 11. Right there, go down to the bottom, zero on the left edge, put a tick mark at 11, and then go ahead, turn my ruler, line it up with both tick marks, and draw a vertical line. Okay, now this little piece, this little rectangle, this will be scrapped. So I just go ahead and kind of scratch that out of there because we're going to cut that off. And then this piece down here will be scrap as well. So I just go ahead and mark that so I know that those two pieces are going to end up being trash when I'm done. Okay, now our next step in our layout is to create to the inside, okay, to create this line right here. Okay, it is solid for 3 inches and then dashed for the rest of the way all the way out to the line. I'm going to measure down from this mark a 1/2 inch, put a tick mark. I'm going to go over to this side, measure down, put a tick mark right there, 1/2 inch. So I take my ruler, I'm going to measure down 1/2 inch. There is my tick mark. I'm going to go to the other end, measure down 1/2 inch. All right, so I have my 2 tick marks here. Now the first 3 inches is solid. Okay, so what I'm going to do by this tick mark right here, I'm going to put my 0 on the left edge, and then I'm going to measure over 3 inches and put a vertical tick mark right there. So from the left edge to that tick mark will be solid, then the rest of the way it will be dashed. Line the ruler up with both tick marks here and there. Solid to the first tick mark, then dash the rest of the way. All right. I now have my top mark. I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom mark going across here. So again, this time I'm going to measure up a 1/2 inch, put a tick mark, go to the other side, measure up 1/2 inch, put a tick mark, measure over 3, put a tick mark, draw it solid, then dashed. I take my ruler, measure up 1/2 inch, tick mark, go to the other end, put the 1/2 inch tick mark. Okay, now I'm going to measure from the left edge, 3 inches, by this tick mark right here. Turn my ruler, line it up with the 2 tick marks here and there. Draw a solid line to my 3 inch tick mark, and the rest is dashed. For the final line for your air racer body, we need a dashed line that connects this endpoint on a solid line to this endpoint right there. You have 2 tick marks that you made. 3 inch tick mark here and a 3 inch tick mark there. Turn your ruler, line it up with the 2 tick marks, and draw a dashed line. Remember, your dashed lines are for folding. Your solid lines will be for cutting. And that is it for the air racer body.